Hmm. Okay, so on a totally different note, I wanted to talk about my tattoos today and share a little bit about what each tattoo means because most of my tattoos have meaning for me. Well, all of them have specific meaning. So the one of the first ones that I ever got, or no, maybe it wasn't. I think it was probably like the fourth one was the eye, and I got it from a guy named Mikey at the Shop Tattoo Co. in Toronto, the same guy who did Bill Hex. Um, so when I was in high school, I used to wear purple contacts all the time because that was my style. I was trying to be edgy. I don't know. It wasn't, and I think it was also because I was super insecure at the time and thought I was ugly. And when I wore those contacts, I felt like I was more attractive, I guess. So the eye and the heart, it's purple, and it's the evolution of um, that same kind of creative impulse to be unique. Um, yeah, so it goes super far down, kind of like the roots of the soil, or the roots of trees going into the soil of the earth, in the darkness of my heart as well. The jewel in the middle, if you've ever seen the movie Heavy Metal, it's one of my favorite movies of all time. I feel like that movie is my cosmic imagination somehow, and they're all seen with green jewels kind of in that area at one point, and then the Lochnar is like a glowing green orb, and he says a green jewel they must possess in order to like invoke me. And so this is the green jewel. I feel like that, yeah, that movie is really special to me. I don't really know why, but it makes me feel like, oh, feels like my imagination, um, when I'm like not in a body. And so recently I added the sun rising out of the heart, so the light rising out of the heart, because I've had a really shitty dark night of the soul for years now. It's been like 4 years, probably longer. Um, I've had some really beautiful experiences spiritually, and then I started to have really like devastating experiences. I think maybe to give myself balance or not get my ego to run out of control, but it's been like a really hard few years, so I wanted that to signify you know a new dawn, a new hope rising. And I got the guns added to the heart when Donald Trump said he wanted to make it easier for people to buy guns, which is a horrible idea. Like, now that we have seen these atrocious crimes being committed, why would you want to like arm the people to be able to commit like mass murder? And they already don't have like mental health stability. It's just ridiculous. So I thought nature will fight back, and there are lavender sprigs of flowers coming out of the heart. I got the star. Caleb gave it to me because after David Bowie died, I was really upset, and I wanted to pay tribute to his last album, Black Star. And and so that's why I got it, and it was a stick and poke. And he said that he thought I was Satan when he was doing it because I didn't feel anything, didn't really flinch. I'm like, yep, I have a lot of tattoos, so it makes sense. The bird is a raven, and it is a illustration from the book Witches of New York, and it says, "Why am I like a writing desk?" And then on the other half, it says Creda Quia Absurdum, which means I believe it because it's absurd. And that one was something that Edwin gave to me when I was, I think, 18 years old, because I used to write a story about a character called Isis, and Isis Evans was like my ideal self that I was like in love with. Like, I was trying to create my, ideal feminine wisdom goddess, and that was Isis, which I've later changed to Isis, like EYE sis, which is what I am calling myself now in everything that I write. Yeah, so that's the chess pieces. I obviously just recently got Bill Hicks' face, and it's like starting to really heal up now, so you can really see that Mikey captured the compassion and the empathy and the wisdom in his eyes. His third eye is open. When people go to church and talk about like, oh, Heavenly Father, Heavenly Mother, to me, Bill Hicks is like my Heavenly Father. He died the same month that I was born, in the same year, and I resonate so much with his comedy and his philosophy and just who he was as a person and what he stood for. So that's why I got it. I also obviously got it to hex pedophiles, rapists, and horrible criminals with the purest of intent, and to reclaim the word hex from the hysteria surrounding witches. Because I don't think that it necessarily is just a negative word. I think that it can be super positive when used with the right intentions, which is the right intentions that I have. It's directed, at various people. And also Donald Trump, because his ex-wife went under oath and said he violently raped her. So fuck that. I can't stand what's happening in America right now, and I just wish that it would all crumble. Sometimes I wish like aliens would just come down and take us into a cosmic galactic federation or something, and we would just like be able to. Do you ever like fucking walk around and you see everything in the stores? There's all these like beautiful like items, books, makeup, and they're just sitting there, and they're just sitting there, and they're sitting there, and we have so much excess, and then there are people poor, and like, that poor little boy could really love to have that nice book for Christmas, and his family can't afford it. Why is it sitting there on the shelves? Like, something has to change. The way that we're like, stop putting a fucking dollar sign on everything on this fucking planet, or at least give us all the money to be able to like afford shit without having to work for years in a job that we don't like. And this one is an athame. It's Fata Morgana's athame, which is like a witch knife. Me and my friend Beth used to have a joke in high school that we would shank people. And so it's kind of like the embodiment of that joke, because I do like to have inside jokes with my friends and keep them carried on, even though I haven't seen Beat in a really long time. One of the reasons I actually bought a Persian rug after Caleb Northmore told me I should teach him the secrets of the universe or whatever, was because he used to make fun of me in high school, and one of the people that he turned against me or him and Johnny didn't like me, and so then Beth was kind of turned against me for a while, and that made me really upset for a time in high school, and so I got the rug as kind of like, man, the tables have turned, bitch. Like, you definitely, the only thing that he said to me in high school was to correct my pronunciation of Sigur Rós. I was like, really? That's sweet. So that's why I have that rug. It's kind of messy. My room's kind of a mess. But yeah, so Fata Morgana's athame. I had some visionary experiences where I was riding around on like a black mare, and King Arthur was riding around on a white mare, and we were questing after the Holy Grail in Avalon. And then I told my mom about this, and she was like, before you were born, a light or like a voice, an angelic voice came to me and said, your daughter will be Fata Morgana, or something like that. And she wrote like a whole bunch of journal entries about Fata Morgana. So it's me kind of trying to like summon my witch self in various incarnations. And I also have you can't see it, but I have a dragon swallowing its tail on my back, or surrounding a scorpion, because I'm a dragon mother and I'm a Scorpio, and I will fucking attack back if needed. And I also have Lilith on my leg. I don't know if you can see it. There she is. It's Lilith or Eve in the Garden of Eden, like just the sovereign tree of life. And I have a tattoo of Lisa Simpson when she's saying that she's the Lizard Queen. And it just says, I am Aiden. Because I'm the Lizard Queen. So it's like, yeah, she's the Lizard Queen, she's Aiden, because I'm the Lizard Queen. And also, I didn't want people to think when I was like being spiritual that I didn't think that I was myself as a human being, because I do. So yeah, and I think that's the most important part of who we are, even as spirits. We are human beings spirits having like a human experience. So I wanted to ground in my human experience with that. Tiff gave it to me, and I also have a snail. I don't know if you can see it. Yay, Snaily! When I was having all these really intense spiritual insights and things, I wanted to ground my life experience in this life, and my first imaginary friend ever was called Snaily. Also, Lisa Simpson becomes president after Donald Trump. Not that I ever think I would become president, that's ridiculous. But my philosophy is, when I'm fully embodied as who I am truly, and healed and whole, who I am will simply be a self-evident truth, and then evident would have more power to effect radical change upon this planet than any president. But I don't know how that's gonna happen. I also have Anarchist and Mercy on my wrist because I used to cut myself in high school. The last time I did it was probably in university on Valentine's Day, when it was a very sad day for me, and I haven't since then. On my back, I have the symbols for the Garden of Eden. There's 2 roses. There's roses, a moth, in the flame, a couple flowers, and the Islamic symbol for life and the flower of life. That was to cover up one that Edwin did when I was young, when we didn't really know what sticker pokes were or how to make them look nice. Even, yeah, it was kind of, yeah, the first. No, not that it didn't look nice, Edwin, but you know. And then I also have Sophia is on my back, because Sophia is my name for God, and also well, Sophia is my name for like the feminine face of God, the goddess, and is my conception of truth. So simply is. Like is just is. Yeah, and then a hand's rising up, and then I also have Rip, rest in peace, Pan, as well, with his hand rising up, because I wanted to resurrect the vibe and the archetypes of the gods. Because why not? I can be both. I can be both male and female, so those are like the male-female aspects of the pagan deities. And yeah, so most of my tattoos are super esoteric.